Hello, and welcome to EDU 7211, Educational Research and Data Analysis Part 2. This is a continuation class of 3285 that you took last year. In this course, we're going to be examining a number of topics stemming from those statistical areas discussed in that class. During this summer class, we're going to, again, continue building upon the 3290 that you just finished completing in the month of June, which was very exciting. And in this class, I'm going to show you how to navigate this in its Blackboard Portal. So for instance, if you click over here where we talk about getting started, you'll see an introduction video that I've created, as well as a simple overview talking about how this class, again, extends from talking about chi-squares, bivariate analysis, multiple regression, so on, building from some of those initial things discussed, such as measurement, internal validity, power analysis, effect size, so on, that you already discussed in 3285. You also have a link to this navigation video that I've just mentioned that we're shooting now, as well as the required textbook, which is a really effective book simplifying some difficult topics within the field of educational research and statistics by Huck. That was written in 2012. Also access to the instructor forum and student cafe as always. In the following link, you'll have both the syllabus and the course calendar. The course calendar can also be accessed through the toolbar on the left-hand side further down the way here. I've not only integrated it here into the calendar for you to have this visual access, but also back here, as I just mentioned before. If we click this course calendar and have a quick look, you will see that they are divided into 5 weeks. The first week being a primer, a slight review session to ensure everyone's on the same page. This is going to include a voice thread, a quiz, and a data analysis activity that's worth 10 points. So you'll see that that data analysis activity is very important, and as a result, I've weighted it more so than any of the quizzes or activities other than the final examination, because unless we have a solid foundation on which to build in terms of selecting the appropriate technique to analyze data sets, then we're really going to be spinning our wheels. From there, we're going to sampling populations and demography or demographics and coming up with effective research questions that include aspects of demographic data, as well as how to correctly create a sample for really answering specific research questions. Then we're going to look into instrumentation, and specifically within the field of language and literacy education. Sometimes when we think about instrumentation, it's from a more broad or general standpoint. So as it pertains to these two fields in particular, literacy, language, we're going to look at that and really solidify what instruments can we use to capture literacy data, right? How well are students fluent? How good can they comprehend? What is their IQ? What is their word reading ability rate per minute? How motivated are they to read? How effective are teachers? All these different questions come at things typically from a quantitative standpoint. We're going to be looking at further this semester. The last 2 units look at univariate and multivariate analysis and figuring out the nuances between ANOVAs, MANOVAs, MANCOVAs, and regressions, and so on and so forth, and how those techniques are crucial to being able to uncover what really are the factors and the relationships between factors within potential studies that you design. So if you're really looking, for instance, to increase readers' motivation rates, right? Well, you might need to look at what are the factors that go into leading a student to become motivated or to maintain that motivation over time. So these analytical techniques, while it might seem perhaps redundant if you already know all of this information, or it might seem not necessarily connected to your specific study in particular, it will impact your future as an academician. So think about how these tools will really amplify your abilities to be an effective researcher in the long run. And then finally, you'll see the final exam is worth 30 points. This will be a case study where you will look at specific information, come up with a research design to basically answer these questions, talk about the ways that you'll collect this data through instrumentation, talk about the ways you'll analyze this data through specific techniques learned in this course. So with that said, we'll go back now to the Blackboard portal. We'll go into course content, and you'll see, as I always do, I typically organize units according to weeks. It works easier for me, and I think for students in general. I have grayed out the future weeks. Once we get to about the end of week 3, I'll open up both unit 4 and 5 at the same time, so that you're able to do those, whenever you can. If you want to knock it all out in the beginning, so be it. But I want to ensure everyone's on the same page to begin with. So you'll see that I've organized these as usual. You have a readings, videos, and podcast portal with some additional resources available there. It will also include podcasts that I have oftentimes made, whether those be a voice over PowerPoint and or talking with other academics in the larger field. Another unique feature of this class is each week I will have quizzes. So this will basically be your opportunity to demonstrate that you've learned the information, watched the videos, and now are able to apply those concepts within educational research. So that's going to be a large component of this class. If we go back to the syllabus, I'll briefly show you how the point allocations are further broken down. You can see right here that we have participation in activities is worth 50 points, the quizzes are worth 20 points, and the final exam is worth 30 points. So that's essentially how you will navigate this course. There's also 3 discussion boards on weeks 1, 3, and 4. And I've clearly articulated on weeks 2 and 5 that there will be no discussion board. So we will alternate essentially between voice threads and discussion boards during this semester. I wish you all the best and look forward to seeing you soon.